pops up. Feel free to throw your questions in the chat box. I'll interrupt Scotty as I see needed, and whatever we don't get to during the presentation, feel free to put your questions in there and we can answer them towards Q&A at the end, which will be around 5:15, 5:20-ish. But yeah, all right, everyone, enjoy the presentation. And Scotty, thank you so much for being here today.
Fantastic. Thank you, Devin. I am so glad that I could be here with each of you today. And, you know, I'm truly miss being in person with everybody, but I'm glad we've got the technology that allows me to at least come and discuss this with you today. And just like Devin said, please, I'm going to be covering a lot of content because I want you to walk out of here with some tidbits, some nuggets, something that will help you and help your company really excel in marketing. So I'm going to be covering a lot of content. If I go too fast, please reach out to Devin and say, hey, I want to ask a question about this. If not, I'm happy to cover a lot of questions at the end. And without that, let's get started. Hopefully. There we go. All right, so what we're going to cover today. I'm going to give you a little blurb about who I am, so hopefully you can handle sitting through that for about 30 seconds. And then we're going to get into some of the marketing challenges a lot of small business and mid-sized businesses are faced, along with marketing tools. And then we're going to get into the actual marketing tactics, followed by the Q&A. So without further ado, let's get started. First of all, I'm Scotty Smith. I'm with CycleWerx Marketing. I've been in B2B corporate side marketing for over 20 years. This past year, I decided to start my own company, start my own marketing agency. And because I really wanted to get hands-on with a lot of the people, and a lot of friends were reaching out to me and said, hey, you know, we need some marketing help doing stuff with our companies as well. So I am a B2B digital marketing agency. I handle content, sales enablement, inbound, outbound, as well as I am actually a full HubSpot certified solution provider. And if you don't know what HubSpot is, we'll get into that a little bit later in the presentation. But if you ever need anything, and I'll reiterate this later, if you just want to chat for a few minutes or you have problems with that you need to discuss and you want marketing help with, please feel free to reach out to me and let me know. Now, like I said, this presentation is not about me, it's about helping you. So one of the first things I want to do is let's discuss some marketing challenges. When I started my own company this past year, I reached out to so many different prospects and I was coming up finding the same things over and over again. I want you to see if any of these resonate with you. And if they do, if you'll put one or two of these in the chat that you're facing as we're going along, just as we're going along. So I started doing a search on Google for top 10 marketing challenges by small businesses. And I looked at the top 10 that were ranked on that page from all these different search engines, and I came up with these. Lack of focus. I know as my own small business, trying to figure out what to do next is a huge challenge. Resources. There is never enough funding, people, time to get done what you want to get done. Leads. How do you get consistent leads always coming in? How do you retain and repeat customers? How do you get them to come back and buy from you again? How can you consistently execute your marketing vehicles and make them happen and be successful after every time you do them? How do you produce and deliver content on a frequent basis, on a consistent basis? Lack of marketing knowledge. I can tell you this, I know that in just the past 10 years, we've gone from less than 500 marketing technology apps to over 8,000 marketing technology apps. It's hard enough for somebody that does this for a living to keep up with it. I gotta imagine that it's nearly impossible for a small business owner. Keeping up with marketing trends and technology. Who do you trust? If you need extra marketing stuff done, who do you call? How do you make it happen? And poor visibility, brand awareness. I don't know if any of these are resonating with you. As my own small business, I know that I actually run into a lot of these myself. And trying to find ways to overcome them is always a challenge. So looking at the chat, actually I'm set up my daughters. But anyway, so if you've got any questions on these, we're gonna come back to these later. So let's get right into free tools. I'm going to start with talking about HubSpot. So one of the things that I cover in this presentation are CRM and marketing automation tools. And if you don't know what a CRM or marketing automation tool are, we're going to get to that later in the presentation. If you have heard of CRM marketing automation, there are many, many products out there that are really fantastic. Everything from Salesforce, Marketo out there to Zoho, and to many other solutions. One of the other solutions that I found myself involved with is HubSpot. And part of the reason that I did that is because in my last company that I worked with, I orchestrated a major migration from our old marketing automation platform onto HubSpot. And I realized it is so incredibly easy to use. Well, believe it or not, they have a free product. Their free product is amazing. And if you're a small business, there's no reason you shouldn't take care of it because of all the things that can let you do. And it's great. Part of the reason they give you the free product is they want to get you while you're just starting out. And they want to be there with you as you grow. So you can easily move this free product to starter, to pro, and enterprise. And they cover not only CRM, which is all about tracking your customers, to also marketing automation, to reaching out to them. But they also work with customer service teams too. So if you need to find yourself, if you've got a service company and you need to manage tickets or orders or customer service requests, you can manage this with their free tool quite easily. Some other free tools that I use that I think are really fantastic. One of them is Hootsuite. And Hootsuite we're going to cover in a little bit, but essentially it allows you to manage all your social media channels from just one platform. You can post it once and it'll spread it out to all your platforms at any time you want it to. Canva is invaluable. If you don't have a graphic designer on staff to work for you, Canva is fantastic because it's got templates, pre-made templates that you can use. You can go and say, you know what, I want to do social posts, and you can create your ad and create your copy on that, and it will replicate it for each one of the different social channels and put it in the right size for you to use. It's a fantastic tool. One of my personal favorite tools that I love is Google Keep. Google Keep is just purely list management. So whether you want to put together an endless list of the blogs that you're working on, or campaigns that you're writing, or projects that you need to get done, Google Keep is a fantastic free tool to use. And then by far, probably I guess my favorite tool on this list, and unfortunately I don't even cover it enough because I could spend an entire presentation on just Google Calendar. Google Calendar is invaluable to a marketer. It's a fantastic way not only to schedule your meetings, but to also schedule out all your campaigns and schedule out all your content marketing. It helps hold you accountable, and it also allows you to share it with members of your own company, no matter what size they are. So these are all some fantastic free tools that if you're not taking advantage of, you really should be. So let's get it started. Let's get into the meat of the presentation. First thing I want to say, every business is unique. So what I'm going to cover today might apply to you, it might not. But hopefully you'll be able to grab some nugget of information from this. The marketing tactics we're going to cover today, we're going to discuss branding. We're going to discuss making it easy for your audience to find you. We're going to talk about CRM, marketing automation, segmentation of your database, email marketing, the importance of it, how to access and how to really use social media management, focusing in on your audience, creating replicable processes, and how to measure and the importance of measurement. So let's get started. First thing I want to talk about is consistent branding. It is invaluable, especially if you are at the beginning stage of creating your business. When you put out a consistent brand, it truly builds your credibility, builds your authority, and helps people trust you more. Think about this to yourself. When you go out and you're talking to somebody, if somebody can go back to your website and see you have a brand in place, you look like an authority. You look like somebody who actually knows what they're doing and has thought things through. Just from the examples you can see that I've got it making sure that my email signature as well has my emails and my ID that I use along with my name badge all represent the same thing so that You know who I am. Now, here, let me give you a really important tip. I'm working with a young startup right now. Create a branding guide. When you've gotten your logo in place, gather all your logo, all your colors up, all your different types of logos, put it in all one document so that you can constantly refer back to it. So you never have to ask a question again. Hey, I'm making a post here. Do I need to have a logo here? If so, what color do I need? Or we're making these changes to our website. What colors do I need on it? You shouldn't have to think about that again. Create one document and you can always refer back to this. Here is something huge, and I've really found this, the pandemic has made this pop out to me. You need to find a single home base for you and your business. That could be your website, it could be a Facebook page, it could be a LinkedIn page, but you need one single home base for you. You can use the other pages. I encourage you to have other pages, but you need to drive traffic from those other pages back to your home base, wherever they may be. I'm going to give you an example that I've ran into recently, and it truly drives me crazy. There's a fish place that I found that opened up right before the pandemic. I've taken my wife there several times. I love it. Well, once the pandemic started, I really wanted to go and swing by and pick up some fish. So I went to their website, and they have links to their Facebook page as well as to a DoorDash. I went to all three of them. All three of their pages have different information on them. They have different hours on each of those pages. Their prices are different, and there's a different phone number for what should be the same company. It's confusing to the end user who is after and in search of that one product because I'm ready to buy. I don't know where to go. I lose trust in the company. I lose credibility in the company. Don't let this happen to you. Pick one and drive traffic back from other places for it to be. Also, if it's your main website or your Facebook site, great. But wherever you are, make it easy for your audience to contact you. Right at the top, someplace handy, put a phone and email. Have a contact form or a meeting scheduler. Don't make your audience hunt to be able to reach out to you. It's too easy. If I have to hunt to try to find some way to contact, I guarantee you I'm starting to look at somebody's competition because life is too short and there's too many other competitors that are making it easy for people. On that same token, when you design your site, make sure that your customers can find the information on your site that they're looking for. You want to demonstrate that you're an information authority. Any questions your customers might have, they should easily be able to find that information on their site. You need to clearly answer what you do or what services you offer. If you've got a large site, make sure you include a search box front and center so that people can find your information and content really easy. People really don't want to have to talk to a salesperson just to find basic information, and this includes pricing. I will tell you, throughout most of my career, a lot of the companies that I've worked for, they've always been along the old-fashioned mindset. You know what, we're not going to put our pricing, we're not going to put our information up on our website because we want them to have to talk to one of our salespeople. This is 2020. I guarantee you, if you're not posting your information up there, your competitor is. If I'm a customer out looking for somebody, looking for a product to use, I'm far more likely to trust a site that puts all of that information out there than somebody that doesn't. So think about that. Remember, your competition is doing stuff that you're not. So why not get ahead of the game? Think about this. Give yourself a 5-second test. Put yourself in the mind of one of your customers. When you look at your site, the moment you come to it without scrolling your mouse, can you easily find the information you're looking for? If not, you need to make some changes and you need to make adjustments to your site. So let's move on from this to discussing about CRM, customer database management, or customer relationship management. So many of you out there are using spreadsheets for your and lists to reach out to customers and to keep your customer contacts on. There's really no need to be doing that anymore. There are free CRM tools, and like I mentioned at the beginning of the presentation, HubSpot is a fantastic tool, and there's lots of other ones if you don't want to use HubSpot. But they're great tools that you should be using. It becomes a single repository of all your contacts, all your prospects, and all of your closed deals. It makes it easy for an entire team to share the information that you put in there about your companies or the contacts at a given company. If you're a sales manager, it makes it really easy for you to have a dashboard and to be able to look at a glance to see, okay, how many people are we reaching out to each week? Or who is in charge of this customer, or who has this account? No more questioning, no more asking. It's all in there. It's really easy to use. And a great CRM allows for one-to-one communication with your customer right then and there. So every time you email your customer, all that data is kept in the CRM. So it's very easy to always refer back to it. You shouldn't have to import lists anymore. Go and use your CRMs. It can also track deals, pipeline management, so you always know where you are. A simple CRM screen might look like this. It's got places for you to write your notes. You can make calls directly from the tools. All of your information is stored in one spot, as well as seeing a list of any deals or any tasks that you might have. It helps keep you focused and on task. I know many small businesses have to wear many, many hats. Some of y'all wind up becoming marketers, some of y'all might be business development managers, and some of y'all might be salespersons. Using a tool like this helps keep you focused and helps keep you on task. When you do put your contacts into a tool like this, a CRM, please make sure you find ways to segment your database into common buckets. Segmenting your database allows you to market directly to each of those groups of customers. It makes it far easier. I'm far more likely to respond to a message that's geared directly to me and my needs than some generic message that's going out to everybody. Let me give you an example. I recently met with one of the largest landscaping companies in the Metroplex. They spend a crazy amount of money on display ads and TV ads. And I was talking to the owner about his business, and I said, look, out of curiosity, are you emailing people? Do you capture their email addresses at all? And he said, oh yeah, you know what? We actually do. We use it so that we can send them a bill at the end of every month. I said, that's great. I said, have you considered sending them a marketing email? He said, you know what? We do. We send them one email a quarter with our latest blog on it. Here is the largest landscaping company in the Metroplex, and they are sending out one email every quarter. I told him, I said, that's nuts. You're collecting these emails. Why not take advantage of them and actually start marketing to your customers this way? And instead of sending one email out to everybody, I said, look, doesn't commercial landscape deals make a lot more money than residential? He said, oh yeah, but they're sending out one message. Now, imagine if you would. What if he took all of these and made segments of them? What if he made small commercial, large commercial versus residential? What if he sent out separate messages geared specifically toward that group? How much more likely do you think that those groups would be to use his product and to use his service? Far more, because you're talking directly to the customer. This is not big, this is not hard to do. Take your database, find ways to segment them so that you can send individual messages that reach the individual groups that you are trying to work with. The best way to do this is by using a marketing automation tool. A great marketing automation tool can tie in and use the same CRM. Again, in this case, I'm going to recommend using HubSpot, but there are a lot of other great ones out there as well. This can fully integrate and use that same database that you're already putting all your contacts into the CRM. it can use this to send out bulk mail to. You can use a marketing automation tool to build lead capture. You can put forms on your website, have it fully integrated with your site. Put chat bots, do your ads through your marketing automation tools. And it makes it really, really easy to send out bulk marketing newsletters. You can use campaigns, blogs. Most of these tools have built-in templates to make it super easy for a small to mid-sized business to get started right away. One of the biggest things, if I'm going to use a marketing automation tool, is I'm going to capitalize on email marketing. Email marketing is free. There's no reason you should not be taking advantage of it. It's fantastic because it's easily measurable. So you can easily track and see how many people are opening your emails, how many people are clicking on your links, how many people are converting on your offer. Without having to spend a ton of money on advertising, you've got it right there in a free package. Let's talk about something else. A lot of people are scared, especially on the B2B space. They are scared and concerned about emailing their customers. I cannot tell you the number of companies that I've talked to that they do not want to be a nag. They don't want to burden people with their email, with their message. Know this, it's okay to email frequently if you're giving them value. Think to yourself about your own email inbox and what you subscribe to. I know that there's a lot of things that I love. For instance, I love video games and comic books. I can't tell you the number of messages, email messages I get every day just on those topics. I don't always have time to open them, but I'm okay with receiving these because it's a service or a topic that I like. Do the same with your own business. Don't feel bad about mailing people. Mailing people frequently is not mailing only one time a month. You need to get that through your head. I know in my own personal email box, I get 50 to 100 emails every single day. In my business account, I get at least 50 emails a day. How do you cut through the noise? You have to be consistent and you have to reach out to people far more frequently than once a month. Don't think that, oh, I sent them this one thing and they're going to convert on that. You have to be noisy. You have to get your message out there. I'm not saying email them every day, but if you're offering something of value, maybe you should consider, depending on the type of product or service, once a week or once every 2 weeks, or maybe even twice a week, depending on what you're offering. If you've got an upcoming webinar, hell, I'd probably email them twice over a period of 2 weeks. 4 times probably over each 2 week period. Be noisy. Help reach the customer. If you're not using it already, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, real quick, we have a couple quick questions about emails. I don't think they'd take too long to answer, but
yeah, go ahead.
It was, what about spam blockers? Is cold emailing okay? And what about emailing potential customers? If you have any quick.
You bet. Hang on, let me stop share for just a second. All right. Okay, what was the first question?
So it was, let me go back to it. What about spam blockers? Is cold emailing okay? And then what about emailing potential customers?
Okay, so spam blockers. First of all, it's part of life. There's not a really great way to get around it. All right, so when you have a list, there are some that are going to get knocked out. You have to go, when you're mailing to this list, you have to realize, you know what, this is going to happen to some people, and there's not a lot of things that you can do about it. Using a good solid tool such as HubSpot, or really and truly any of the good solid marketing automation tools out there, they have ways, they're whitelisted by many of these mail servers. So your message, you have a much better chance of getting your message to the recipient by using these tools than if you're trying to just send them out nilly-willy by something else. Okay, so I can tell you that makes a huge difference. As far as doing it to a cold list that you haven't before, it's definitely not recommended. It's very, very much frowned upon. One-to-one communication with those people are great. But I will tell you, everybody has to get started someplace. When I first started getting my own agency, I reached out to everybody with an announcement email by taking all the emails out of all my contacts from LinkedIn. These are people I've talked with, these are people I've networked with, so I did not feel bad about networking with them or sending them a bulk marketing email. Now, out of that group, did people unsubscribe from it? Yeah, and I expected them to, because they did not sign up for this and I got it. But the rest of the people know me, and I thought, you know what, this is a great place. I'm a known quantity and this is a great place where to start. I also, in my initial emails, I also put, you're getting this because we know each other from here. So I was warmed up a little bit. And your last question was, Dem?
The last question, sorry, was yeah, emailing potential customers. But I think you just answered.
Email potential customers. So all these CRM tools, you can easily do one-to-one emails from them all day long. But you know, sometimes it's great to be able to put them all into a group and be able to send a bulk product to them as well. Hopefully that took care of it. So
Yeah, that's great.
Let me share my screen again. And please, if you've got any other questions, please let Devin know and we'll get back to it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Biggest thing I want to leave you with.
Oh, so sorry. Andrew, we'll get to yours at the end.
Okay.
We'll leave that.
Biggest thing to remember, if nothing else, be noisy with your email. There's so much clutter. So many messages are coming through it. It's a great free channel, but you got to cut through the clutter, and that means emailing frequently and giving them value when you do. All right, let's talk about social media. Social media is a fantastic marketing platform to use. And again, you can use it free or you can use it paid. I tend to use it free. But what to me makes it so much easier to deal with is to have a tool to be able to do it. I don't have time to go out to every single channel that I'm on and post individual messages. I rely on a single tool. For me, I use Hootsuite. Hootsuite is great because I can have it link up to my Facebook business account, Facebook personal account, Twitter account, LinkedIn personal, LinkedIn business account, and my Instagram account. And I can put messages in there once, or I can, on Sunday morning, maybe I'll sit down and schedule them out for the next week. And I can have them go out at different times. I know small businesses struggle to find time to do things. This is a great way to save time. So if you're not taking advantage of this, please do. Social media, you need to be consistently loud and noisy on too. And the way to do it is to repeatedly post every week. So take advantage of these tools. They'll help you schedule and manage all your posts. And the great thing about it is they can also measure engagement, and you can find out over time, hey, is what you're doing working or not? Is it resonating with your audience? So now let's get in and let's start talking about your audience. You need to remember, whenever you do any kind of marketing at all, who your audience is. Is the marketing piece that you're designing, is this going to actually reach your target market? Have you thought and have you sat down to define and describe who your audience actually is? You might want to consider, I don't know if you've heard of personas before. You might want to create a, hey, my customer looks like this. It might be a Bob and they meet these demographics and they look on these particular channels. Or it might be a Susan and she always reads this type of content. And then focus all your marketing towards reaching those specific audience members. Some of y'all will have products or services that can go over several people, or it can go to lots of different groups. Maybe you've got several different segments. One thing that I find frequently is that people get confused. They want to either send out a general email that tries to address all of these, or they will actually be writing to one segment. They will be writing something that's really meant for another segment. So always, please, remember who your audience is and make sure your marketing message is reaching them. Here's a big one. I want you to work on creating replicable and repeatable marketing process, whether that's your programs or whether that's processes that you are dealing with. Once you have created one, go and iterate on that success. Because when you can start using the same programs over and over and over again, that makes your efforts take far less time. It's far easier to execute because you've done this before. And then you can actually start measuring the success of these given programs. You can take a given program that you start with, build on that, and create a separate program or clone that program into others. When you're creating marketing content, put that content out there, but find everything you can, every which way, to take this content and put it into different marketing vehicles. For example, if you do a blog post, why not take bits of this and put out as short social posts? Or maybe little clips of this and put out as videos. Instead of trying to reinvent the wheel constantly, take the content that you have created, break it down into little segments, reuse it as often as you can. One of the clients that I've worked with is doing an amazing job about putting out blog posts every week. He's got 4 years of content that he can repackage and put out as often as he wants on as many channels as he wants. He doesn't have to reinvent it every single week if he doesn't want to, because he's got a lot he can rely on. This is a huge, huge time saver. Take advantage of this. This will definitely make your marketing so much easier. Remember, don't reinvent the wheel every time. And by the way, here's another tip. If you're out there and you see any really cool marketing efforts, find a way to repeat them. If somebody else has done it, see how you can repeat it to your own customers. All right, one of the last things is let's talk about measurement. Measurement is key. A lot of people don't like to talk about measurement, but I think it's invaluable to what you're doing. Measurement is the only way you know whether your marketing efforts are working or not. Are the emails that you're sending out, are they reaching your audience? Are people converting on it? Are they reading your marketing outbound material? How many people are visiting your site? Are you tracking what you're doing to drive engagement? Being able to measure from week to week or month to month helps you know whether you're successful or not. I cannot tell you the number of companies that I've worked with. They will send out one campaign one time and look at some numbers from that and say, and not do anything anymore and say, okay, I don't want to do anything more because that didn't seem like it was as successful as you want to be. Well, if you don't repeat some of these campaigns and run them again, how can you measure to find out if you're growing or not? How can you find out if you are making a difference? How can you find out whether or not you're reaching your target audience or you need to make changes to your content or where you're marketing, what you're saying, or maybe you need to make changes to your offering itself or your product or service so that you can better reach who your target market is. Really, in digital marketing, pretty much everything has a way of being measured. Take advantage of this. I'm going to again go back to a tool like HubSpot. They have built-in dashboards that will let you tie it to your website, and they'll keep track of all your marketing efforts from a single screen and let you know how you're succeeding or failing. Take advantage of this. That way you know whether your efforts are paying off. So to recap, you got to use consistent branding out there. You really do. It gives you authority. It gives you trust in the marketplace. Please, oh please, make it easy for your audience to find you and to find the information they need, because I guarantee you, if you're not, your competitors are. If you're not using a CRM, you got to. It's an easy, convenient way to keep all your contacts and to reach out to them. Segment that audience that you're working with into bite sizes so you can give individual messages that appeal to those audience. Take advantage of marketing automation tools, whether you're using forms for lead capture, chat bots, or just bulk emailing your customers, you should be using that. Make yourself save so much time by using a social media management tool such as Hootsuite or really Buffer. Do not forget who your audience is. Make sure you're constantly talking directly to them, and make things easier on you. Create a repeatable process that you can use over and over and over again to drive traffic, and measure what you do to find out whether or not you're being successful. I really, really appreciate all of y'all letting me talk to you today. I'm Scotty Smith. I'm with CycleWerx Marketing. I encourage you, if you have marketing questions, please reach out to me. Devin's going to send a link out after this with a copy of the video and a link to access a PDF of all the slides of the presentation. If you want to reach out to me, I encourage you to do so. Even if you're just curious about something, I'm great with setting up like a 15-minute meeting. Or if you need to talk about some more marketing in depth and you need help, I'm happy to help with that as well. Thank you again for letting me speak, and let's get to the Q&A part.
Awesome. So for everybody here, real quick, we have a couple questions in the chat box, a couple that were sent to everyone, a couple that were sent just to me. So I'm going to answer those or ask those. Well, Scotty answer those. And then if you have any other questions, feel free to just unmute yourself and ask those yourself. But let's see, I think the Hootsuite one got answered by others, so we'll leave that one. But we had one question from Andrew saying, what are the best mass mailing companies for like consistent contacting? Yeah.
Who has that?
Andrew? I did.
Oh, she did. Okay, so what do you mean by that? Are you looking for lists to buy?
What I'm thinking is I get emails from Constant Contact and other organizations that allow an entrepreneur to send out mass emails and not get blocked by daily limits and stuff. There are several companies that do that. Constant Contact is the one that springs to mind. I wondered, what I'm asking is not the stuff I can find on the web. I'm asking, what's your experience with them as to which ones are the most effective and easiest to use?
And again, Andrew, to clarify, are you looking to buy list?
No,
or are you looking?
I've got a list of 50,000 people.
You want to just mail to them?
Yeah.
So
email.
So again, like I said, I use the free version. I mean, the free version of HubSpot will let you do that. Now, if I will tell you, any of these products that you might use, if you send to a huge cold list and you wind up with a huge spam rate on it, they're going to actually, any of these tools are going to wind up blocking you from using these any further. Okay, so just be aware of that. It doesn't matter whether you're using Constant Contact, HubSpot, Marketo, any of these. If these tools find you spamming people, they're going to shut you down yourself. And they do this for a reason. It's very smart that they do this. They've spent a lot of time and invested a lot of money being whitelisted on a lot of mail servers. So they do not want to ruin their reputation by doing that.
I'm already aware of that. I wasn't going to be spamming anybody. These are people who have signed up. What I need to do is get around the daily limits of 120 emails on Gmail, stuff like that.
That's why I said HubSpot. HubSpot, the marketing automation. Okay. They'll let you send, the free version will let you send out, I honestly don't remember. I think it's 20,000 emails in 1 month on their free version.
Okay, that should be ample.
That should be, yeah, that's a bunch. And it's crazy that they offer that tool to let you email anywhere close to that. But like I said, it's a great, great tool.
Great, thank you.
So take advantage of that.
Awesome. And then I think the other questions got answered in the chat. Were there any others that I missed? Go ahead and unmute yourself and you can ask right now. And I have one other in my back pocket.
I asked another, which was how many times does someone need to see an image for it to remain in their consciousness? In other words, I see stuff once and I've got it. I know whether I want to buy the product, but I've heard people say that you know, everything from you can't display the image enough to, you know, they've got to see it at least 5 times and stuff like that. Well, what's the latest?
What is the magic number?
The
I will
magic
tell you
number.
this. So yeah, growing up and going to business school, you know, back in the day, it used to be somewhere between 3 and 6 contacts before somebody was willing to talk to you or somebody. But now it's expanded to, I think the latest number that I saw was 12. So think about, you know, when you're sending and sharing an image with somebody, you have to reinforce that image multiple times before it really sinks in to the conscious. So I actually kind of agree with the person. You can't really do it enough. But it also goes back to marketing is also about consistent and repeatedly reaching out to your customers over and over again. I'm just a little behind the scenes. I've got one customer that I'm talking to right now, and we're about to close a deal. I started talking to them in October, and I sent them 1 to 2 emails a month. Part of them sales, part of them just following up, but I never let that contact die. I just kept on and kept on, because sometimes that's all it takes, is just being frequently until they're ready to buy. So sometimes you just got to keep pushing your message out there.
I have a question, if I may. What would be your advice for the best type of questions to get engagement?
So I will tell you, I actually, I have a friend of mine that made a LinkedIn post yesterday, and it was just on that. And it does seem to be like, if you use a number question, so 10 ways to find this out, or 3 ways to solve your problem, or something like that, or did you know the top 5 ways of doing this? For whatever reason, time and time again, it seems like those questions wind up getting the most engagement and people looking at stuff. And if you'll look, there are some really fantastic lists that have been put out just in the past month or 2 on that exact subject, and you can really find some great subject lines or some great questions to ask people to start getting them engaged. And it's a great way to do blog posts too. For some reason, it teases the mind somehow, gets you interested.
Awesome. So I'll pull out the one that somebody sent earlier. They were asking with regard to, you know, the COVID-19 crisis, if you had any advice or any industry insights on when to switch back from, you know, empathy messaging to your customers back to more of sales messaging.
Yeah, I do. Now, what are you doing? Why haven't you done this already? Now, how many messages do you have to go on how empathetic we are? Oh my gosh, it's repeatable. I don't know about you, but I'm a marketer. I get these all the time. And I feel like what all these corporate marketers have done is taken one template and cut and paste for every one of their companies. We feel you. We're there. We need you. Yeah, we know it. We're stuck too. You know what? Especially if you're in B2B marketing, or you're reaching out to other people that are in the same boat, give them value now. They don't need you to tell them, oh, we're empathetic. We need, you know, we care about you being in the pandemic. They get it. They understand. They also understand you're another business. You have a product or service to sell that they probably need. You know, be valuable to them. Give them your information. And that could be, maybe you don't want to hardcore sell them. Maybe the markets are not open for that right now. You know what? There's a person on our panel right now. We talked earlier in the week. His marketplace right now is suffering, but he needs to be there. And he and I talked about it. He needs to be there and give messages out so that when that market opens back up, he's the first person that somebody thinks of to go for their product or service. You got to be out there. You got to be an authority. Everybody's dealing with the pandemic. Move past that, at least in your messaging. And like I said, be noisy and offer value.
Awesome. Thank you for answering that. I know you had a couple bonus topics, but before Scotty goes to those bonus topics, if we want to do that for a quick minute, if we have time, were there any other questions that y'all had?
I had another one, which was if I'm doing a special offer to my customers, how do I determine how long it should be open before I end it? In other words, if I'm doing, let's say, a B2B product, and I've got some kind of like, price cut, how long does it need to be open in order to get the best take-up rate?
Okay. This is my opinion on that. Let's say if you're doing a special offer or special sell. This, I will tell you, this is partly driven by my history. Early on in my career, I used to work for an electronics store, and there was a lot of things coming out in Texas about when you could claim something was on sale and when it wasn't. And I tend to be guided by that even today. Is your sale, is it an offer that is always happening? Is it truly always happening? So it's always an offer? Or is this a rare situation? And if so, if it's an offer you're going to make specifically for a limited time, determine what your time is and make sure you market it in advance of that time and then during the entire time. Make sure you're letting people know, hey, we're closing this day. And then don't make that offer, that exact same offer, again for a while. Because when you turn around and you say the very next month, hey, we're offering this again, you have lost credibility and you have lost any sense of urgency for your customer to actually go and buy it in that timeline because they know, he'll offer it again next month. Does that kind of help?
Yeah, thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Yeah, don't be the carpeting company that has the perpetual going out of business sale.
Right.
Painted on their van.
There's some furniture companies around here that I feel like are doing that all the time.
Yep. Mattress companies.
Yeah, definitely.
So we're at time. We won't be able to get to any of those bonus topics, but I think you gave us so much insights for today, and I'll throw in some of that stuff to the follow-up email. Scotty, I just want to say thank you from all of us. You were incredible. I think you really gave us some tangible stuff to take to our own companies. So thank you. And
yeah,
thank you very much. And again, if y'all just want to chat for, if y'all have questions, you want to reach out to me in chat, please feel free. I know there's a lot of companies out there struggling right now. I'm happy if you just need a few minutes to ask, hey, I've got this question on marketing, let me know. But anyway, thank you so much. I am so honored to be part of the Tech Fort Worth community. And again, if you need me, let me know. But thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Scotty.
Thank you so much, Scotty. And